Hi, welcome back to the first tutorial of archaeological illustration I'm going to start today. Thanks for the subscribers so far. It's really encouraging to know people actually want to understand this process. Today we're going to be looking at pot sherds. Pot sherds are the kind of bread and butter for illustrators, and they're really useful for archaeologists for identifying sites in contexts when they're dug out of the ground. You can use these to kind of date periods, so they're really important. Now there's a few bits of kit that you need before you actually start to draw this. One of them is this thing called an Eaves chart, an estimated vessel equivalent chart. They come in all shapes and sizes. This is my preferred size, it's very big. What you have here is the kind of radius of the vessel and some numbers on the bottom. And I'll show you how this works. You will also need a profile gauge where you can kind of take the profile of the vessel, some drafting film which I have here, and a pencil to start with. Now, we're going to start to look at drawing this. Now, it might sound complicated, but it's actually quite really easy. What we're going to try and do is we're going to try and recreate this vessel, and we're going to try and get this profile along the side there to show how this piece of pot has been made, how it's been thrown. And we also need to put on the kind of outside and the inside of the vessel. Now, it's pretty straightforward to do. Now, the first thing to do with this is to kind of have a look at it with this chart. Now, if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to try and line it up with one of these circles. And what you should get by slowly moving it up is a kind of match. So if we can have a look on here, I'll try and hold this up for you. We have on here a kind of match on there, and this is 12 centimeters. Now what we're going to try and do is transfer that measurement, so I'll write that down, 12 centimeters at the top of my paper, as a line. So we're going to try and use that as the kind of top of the vessel itself. I'll get into that in more detail later on, and then we need to try and find out how this sits, because if you look at that, you could kind of draw like this angle, this angle, this angle. Now the easy way to do that is to put it on a flat surface and use something called a rocking technique until there's no visible light under the rim of the vessel. And when you kind of do that, you will get what they call the true angle to draw it at. So if I kind of hold it up on this sheet to show you, if you rock it, you can see there's light under it, but the further around you go, it becomes flat on the paper. And that's the kind of angle we're going to use. So we're going to then take that, using our profile gauge, when I call blanking it out so it's nice and flat, place it flat on the piece of paper, like so, and then we're going to very, very gently ease the profile gauge into the pot itself. Now, we can see, if we turn that up, what we have left is the kind of profile of the pot. So if you hold that up to it, you will see there, it sits in there nicely, and that's the profile of it. So we're then going to transfer this to the paper. So if we get a ruler, which you need, sorry I mentioned you should have a ruler as well, we're going to draw on this drafting film 12 centimeters across the top. Now what we're going to do then is half it, so 6 centimeters across. We're going to draw a kind of T-bar shape. So what you'll have on your paper, apologise for this because this is very rough, is a kind of line like that. And what we're going to try and do is draw the pot that we've just taken this kind of measurement here as the outside of it itself. So on our paper, this is going to appear on here. So by taking this, as I use this on the flat surface as a kind of leveler, we'll line it up with the top of our paper, and then we'll accurately trace around this piece of pot, so you kind of have the outline. Now I'm lucky with this because this has a very nice sharp flat edge, and I can place it on the paper to make sure that my line's where it should be, and because it's a very flat piece, I can quite easily, very gently, just draw the outline. Now what we're also going to have to do to make sure this is accurate is to take some measurements with some calipers. So by using this, it will give us the thickness of the vessel at the base. I'm also going to do one halfway up just to make sure it is accurate, obviously. So you can see that there. And then what I'm going to do, without putting that on the surface, is to do the same again, but to take a profile across the vessel. Let me see that there. So it's taking in the top and the bottom. Now then, by transferring this to the paper, we will then have the profile of the pot. So if I take this off the drawing board, I'll show you. What we have is the start of a pencil drawing pot. Now we need to mirror this, but just the outline on this side. Now the easiest way to do is just fold the tracing paper in half. So if you fold it in half, if you put enough guides and measurements on, you can fold it in half and then copy the line that you have already. Just the outside of the vessel, remember, because one's the inside, one's the outside, and there we kind of have the wall of the vessel itself and the outline of the vessel. Now what we also need to add into this is the kind of rim, this kind of line along here. There's not any other detail on this pot itself, no marks on the inside, on the outside, it's just indicating this line here. So by kind of putting it back on the drafting film and making a little indicator there, we can use our ruler and then we can draw the line across which indicates the pot. So hopefully you can see that, and that's a very, very quick tutorial on pottery illustration. Thanks for tuning in.